A remake of Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead is due for release. This is not necessarily a bad thing. The movie has every chance of being good. What it does not have is a chance of being great. This is a consequence of the syndrome that has plagued the slasher genre for most of its lifespan: the problem of agency. The standard slasher plot is both simple and invariable. You begin with a group of young, beautiful living people, and finish with a group of young, beautiful dead people. A maximum of one young, beautiful person may be permitted to survive, but usually only as a thread to tenuously bind the first film to its inevitable sequel. The manners of death can be inventive and macabre in the finest Grand Guignol tradition, but it can never be great storytelling. The problem with the storytelling is that it is purely about what happens to the characters, rather than what those characters do. None of the characters' choices matter, because nothing they do can have the slightest influence on the result, and therefore there is no reason for any investment, either emotional or intellectual, in the characters or their plight. In short, they have no agency. This is what separates the first Halloween, which featured an active protagonist whose actions had consequences, from its almost uniformly terrible sequels and reboots. It is what separates the cult classic Evil Dead 2, with its dementedly rebellious protagonist and darkly comic tone, from its inventive but hopelessly straightforward predecessor, and, judging by the largely positive early notices, from its inventive but hopelessly straightforward reiteration. But it doesn't have to be this way. The problem of agency in horror movies is a fairly recent and eminently fixable one. Horror movies managed without the boilerplate slasher format for decades. So why do so many horror movies slavishly adhere to it? There are so many stories that can be told without it, that it is more than a little surprising that so many horror filmmakers insist on continuing to bash their heads against the same brick wall, on the apparent assumption that it will have to give way eventually.